Hello and welcome back to another video here with me, Meoni, for Final Fantasy XIV. This time I wanted to highlight a part of the game that many of us take for granted or have just simply forgotten about over the years, and that is the idle camera. When it comes to G-Pose, we have a plethora of wonderful toys to make our pictures look amazing, along with third-party graphics modifications such as Reshade, Stormshade, and even Nvidia's amazing Ancel and Photo mode that can all really make the game look even more amazing for your pictures. There is little use of anything else, especially with most new patches to the game adding more and more features to Group Pose mode. I don't think there's much want for anything else. And I love seeing people's pictures of sunsets and in-battle screenshots they've taken with the mode. But one of the things I think many overlook is one of the oldest methods of getting actual screenshot ideas. The idle camera then in Final Fantasy XIV can be accessed in 4 direct forms. You can basically turn the idle camera on in the System Settings menu under the Auto AFK Settings option. If you place the Auto AFK timer to its lowest, which is 5 minutes, and then tick the box that says Switch to idling camera when Auto AFK activates, then obviously the idle camera will kick in after 5 minutes of you going AFK. But you can also directly choose more than that and not have to wait 5 minutes. There are 3 text commands then which you can actually make into macros if you'd rather not type them in. Firstly is /icam space angled bracket me, then the opposite angled bracket. If you type this or click this as a macro, then the idle camera will be locked to you and only you, meaning that you can actually get a series of camera pans of random angles every few seconds of your own character instantly. This is useful then to come up with ideas for selfies that perhaps you wouldn't initially come up with, and it doesn't always come up with the best ideas as you can see, but it is a really great feature that I use myself personally. It has the benefit of locking it to your own character and can be used in and out of combat practically anywhere in the game, including dungeons. Secondly, you could use /icam. This will simply activate the usual random idle camera that you would get if you turned on the auto AFK features and waited 5 minutes. Icam alone is actually really useful for finding things in your environment that you perhaps never thought to look at. It can switch between other players, NPCs, minions, even inanimate objects and landscape shots, all at random. And thirdly is the /icam space angled bracket T, then opposite angled bracket. If you type that or press a macro with that in, it will target anything that you're currently targeting, be that a lamppost, an NPC, a minion, another player. The idle camera will instead lock to that target, switching between interesting camera footage around that target only. This can be great for getting footage of objects and people that ordinarily you wouldn't be able to put a camera behind. If you can target it, you can icam it. I use this for figuring out what certain NPCs are wearing for glamour videos, if they're hidden behind a desk or another object, such as vendors behind desks in towns. It makes it 10 times easier for me, for example, to see what boots they're wearing. In general, icam is one of the coolest tools at our disposal. It's been around since patch 3.2, when idle camera modes were first put into the game, yet so few people know of how useful it can actually be. The real drawback then with icam is that if you set it to its normal idle camera with no target selected, it can come up with some truly horrible shots, blurry angles of scenery or just out of focus legs of random NPCs. But when it does come up with good shots, they do look phenomenal. One of my favourite things to do then is to head to somewhere busy, say in an expansion such as Shadowbringers, and just turn on the icam for a bit. You can see NPCs going about their daily jobs, counting planks of wood and walking around, seeing things you normally might have missed if you had walked through the town normally. It's both a great source of inspiration for taking your own photos, inspiration for checking something you may have missed from an area, and sometimes a great way of taking screenshots you might have never thought of before, and just pressing the print screen button instead of lining anything up yourself. I wanted to make this little video today to share this knowledge to anyone who doesn't know how useful this is. Constantly I see people on the forums ask for many new features to GPOs, such as the ability to target any NPC and various new battle mode option ideas, but technically we already have a lot of that in the game, all hidden away behind a feature that I think most new players to the game will never know about, unless they watch a video like this. It's especially fun to do this in trust dungeons. You can get some great pictures whilst the scions battle hard against enemies, and you're not really letting anyone down. I don't condone personally the use of this in player-run dungeons unless they are able to do it on their own and they know you're doing this in a pre-made group with your FC or something, as nobody really likes a random player in their group just standing there whilst they do all of the hard work just so you can get some pictures, but it does practically work everywhere in the game. Anyway, let me know if you've used the icam before, if this is the first time you've ever heard of it. It can be really useful once you play around with it. Thank you kindly for watching, and I'll see you all next time.